Good evening, Poetry Love Buzz. Welcome to the first Monday reading series here at Nocturne. I am your faceless host, ZM Wise. Today, originally from DC, we have Mr. BGK at your poetic service. He's going to present us with a nice selection of his work. Take it away, senor.
How's it going? Good to be here. This is the rapture. Pansies, paninis, penises going through gateways of space, time, shine, ever bright, interstellar, Voyager, your panties thrown up beyond the dresser. What the world doesn't know about you is the panties down at the foot of the dresser. It can't be. I am drunk off this brand new wine. Don't need to ferment long for it to become a song. Anyone can turn pop star in Vegas overnight. Check the sun blemishes, the lioness guesses. Famishes will cover the earth, you flat tire fuckers. You milk duds, you deadbeats. Vampires, fuck 'em dead in the shade. Lounging, you can call me Reggie on Facebook. Yo, Reggie, what is going down? But I won't answer because Reggie is not my fucking name. Listen to yourself thinking, the bones broken, sore, wayfish. There's a draft in this high capacity at this significant subtle juncture. Since I was little, realized I was after the rapture. They don't pay much, don't look like much, but it's the motherfucking rapture. It's true, you can't trust too many. You can't trust the kryptonite. They hide their skeletons deep in walk-in closets as big as my apartment. You know, you should write a poem based on that, on people's baggage, on what they bring into the room, bring into work, bring into a relationship. That would be just too easy. Your beautiful double standard is buckling. This is a power trip, but the tables turn, so don't act so surprised. Fundamentalist dilapidations. If we can't handle these angels of mercy, how are we going to handle aliens?
Woo!
So, that's that one. Any requests, Zach?
A request, really? Oh, okay. I mean, if you're taking one,
Yeah.
you're dead soon.
You're dead soon. Alright.
That one goes back a ways.
I ask and then I have to find it.
Other ones, maybe Red, Sounds of the 70s, Name the Bomb. Something like that.
Dan, you got a good memory.
I try.
Anyway, this is not that.
Okay.
Blaze of glory, a blaze of victory, as I'm getting a hint, tiny ceiling fans of roads of India, 1990, January of Mumbai, dead batteries and smoke detectors. I will match your house on fire with my house of ice. It is love, warmth of words, coke of smile. My door is always open, my door is always open, my door is always open. We should do something about that. Revert to library hours. My door is open 4 days a week. Revolting door, pants hung to dry over the door. Thus the room is of heaving, pulling through time, jutting over wave. Introduction to humankind, roles, change, earth life is an art project in a one-bedroom apartment. That bedroom is the master bedroom, is the man of the house, puts the kitchen in line. The kitchen is walking around in itself, barefoot, pregnant, and hungry. Society is coming for dinner to check out the sorcery, to tear into the remains of the sacrificed limb of the lamb. Idea wrongly motioned. This is not that kind of bathroom that's written in, and that's about to change. Call 5555555 for a good time. That's a lot of fives. Wait a minute, that's a television phone number. Situation of prime. 3 is company. Flavor of love. Alright, let's break into newer territory.
Yeah.
This is a poem that I originally wrote on a sheet that's about this big, and it turned out to be exactly 1,000 words
Wow.
by the time I counted it up. It's called A Poem About Nothing. Perhaps giving away what is unsaid with other body parts from the body shop, like you've learned to start working on cars, Small animals run across these rooftops, chased by larger ones. Remembering days in school, we were just about as small then. Learning new things about myself for as long as I can stay awake, and then some, and then some. Stay handsome. Perhaps a little bit country without realizing it until you do. All this time, there has been this alternate version of us. Is this the top where you want to be? Like if they asked you a question so small-minded, you could no longer see it. If you ask yourself to be honest, then in time, I'm a running man, all grown, all hard work, kept honest and clean. This is something you are going to want to see hundreds of years from now, a possibility, how we glow so bright, we start to float. Nothing is missing. This is something clover, a sign dripping with wet paint, no time like piss ants. You can guess all you want about North Korea. There will never be any peace there. A text that never reaches, just blame it on the midnight government shutdown. You want to know more about how you can do more? What for? You've already done enough. And no one's asking, is this where you want to be to accomplish everything in sign writing after bold events stop you dead in your tracks, struck by winter wonderland, lightning, wine-stained pursuits, psychic call-ins, lint and naval landslides, your religious upbringing, unhinged, get old enough to know better, so now we're knowing better, red alerts discussed, how that happens before an emergency, my pills, go and get them, go and get my pills, I've got 41 days left to write in my diary, it's a journal, an introduction to the uneven parts, sold quickly out the door, they watch the years come and go, and there they went, and there was an explosion, men jumping out of a different kind of explosion, going to bed on one side of the city, now you're just showing off how many knives that you own, then you're upgrading to gunpowder and acting tougher than you are. A tiresome sorrow story, you and your hell, all exceptions, all excuses for why on earth would you, all these extensions of cave paintings, natural and digital, original hospital gown you got there. What have you got there? Brazil and its daughters from countrymen worried over a fire. What needs to be rigged and rotted with time, smiling huge delusions of self in a warm water, simmering to a shimmering boil. Your role as consumer after work, human longevity, although in the incubator of all health, still experiencing loss and disproportion in others, which is the thing in place of which is to replace one thing for another, the new needing, breathing room, the old having to face stopping to breathe in place, this stop stag, what you see isn't what you get, stop gap, a convenience store in the country called Piss and Get, never mind gas, piss and get something at the counter and get on, go on and get, sensitive enough to spell sensitive correctly without having any help or other greetings or roadside assistance, sensitive enough to give a goddamn about it, hellos and other greetings we were taught stop short. So piss and get, should you not be pea-shy, lucky enough to be alive to see this next age and perhaps grow with someone new to you. Now that I have your undivided attention, like the answer man holding the question, black-robed father, death with sickle, Fibonacci spiral, staring at your neck like she wants a baby, maybe she wants you, maybe wants an answer, maybe staring into the eco-turning society, an inward Saturn rage released onto a truck rattling before me, realized for what it is, broader scope and sneezing a hole into the end of January, and witnessing the palms of River Oaks, the clearing, the bend that Shepherd headed north, the curved snaps of Allen Parkway, up pointing to the industrial highways of I-45, of I-10, of I-59, becoming I-69, and moving forward in the journal, the discipline therein locking the key, the journal with the key as thin as tin. This is as I say it was, should be, in the clearing, cleaning of all the spots off the dishes in the china case. Clearly, we move more closely into this thought of just how much we are leaning on others around us, emotionally falling forward. A resentment builds. It doesn't help if you don't stick around to talk about it. This entire archetype is suspect as far as I can see, and I can see right through this, at least at times, the ones that are usually recounting, lost in the flow of a single sentence, a man talking without end in sight until it all becomes obvious. And Seinfeld is a show about nothing. I mean, what'd you do today? I went to work and ate a seaweed club at lunch, and I came here, and you see, that's a show. There's a poem about nothing. That's the chapter, that's the moment in time that you have. So you have to snatch it back, these moments of time for your own sanity. Maybe while doing so, writing it down is just proof that you tried. Fear of missing out is stressing out over somewhere that you think that you have to be, which is probably just really at the heart of materialism. Listening with the correct ear to video proliferated viral along the Oregon Trail, a power spike silent, as calm as silence, with loving intention, no fruit forbidden, inhibitions and boundaries meeting with each other to discuss what this is, where this is going, a man taking lunch to work, taking work home with him for dinner, the closing chapter for your loved ones, and you try to be there for them as you want this for yourself. All arguments aside, humans, animals, insects, microbes, pockets, envelopes, and cutthroats, all searching for the antidote. So, that's my long one. It's a long one. This is from Overflow. What is your resistance to what you are dreaming? Could be a cool time to go fishing for the wholesome life you never thought was achievable. Under cardboard and diamond-crusted misfires, made of chocolate shakes and hidden agendas, the price tags on heads nailed hastily to the front wall. Why prepare yourself for shadows and peaks and valleys and mosh pits when really, well, how do you prepare for the worst that you've ever seen than by closing your eyes and funneling and diffusing your attention like unboxing hardware for a YouTube channel for 1 million hits each? Use bleach, show your bottom teeth for the job interview, and tell them to fuck themselves as necessary. Haters are gonna go on, and yes, yeah, the fakers can go and fuck themselves, bottom shelf, bottom dollar, lower your expectations to get to the best bargains, and be alright sometimes with walking away empty-handed. Embrace your maladies, embrace the vampire or some such shit. Harness the strength of lordly pleasures in a nearby hell realm, all things possible in a tantrum to bring the heavens down, ramped and vamped up in the process of ritual discussions of aspirations, chucked out the window. All the TED Talks are a bunch of white folk talk. Anyway, do they really have their finger on the pulse of the people? Good, I guess, still to discuss that which is undimmed, Dolores, delouse, unblouse, unleash the power of the unibrow. 10 in a row now. Trees peek up over the fence. You keep a spreadsheet of your stamp collection that was pulled up into the tornado sky. He left his old life that way. He forgot how to smile for a decade. Maybe it was only a year. A whole year after that, a plane goes by like the ghost of football players will haunt you in your sleep. You give to a popular charity once a year and tell people how selfless you are. Slam Dunkin' Donuts. You're so fucking selfless in the midst of your destruction. All the fanfare, all these grand gestures, ballistics, cantaloupe, wayfarer, wood color, light brown fence, sexual boundaries, the near end of an album, the needle in the cloud, the company clown, the court gesture falls on his candy ass as they fall into hysterics, prepare scripts for their grandchildren. You know that when I was alive then, the neighborhood shook and we thought someone dropped a bomb on D.C. from overseas. They said that the plane striking the buildings in New York was the beginning of a terrorist attack. We were like, no, that's false flag. We scrambled like bugs across the city and the suburbs in order to get home and assess what to do next. Poems came flying out kind of easily as they do now. Hair was greasy, soundtracks to old movies, old high school yearbooks went into the dumpster at the bottom of the road, and for renewal, shaved my head bald and did push-ups for no apparent reason, perhaps to summon the work ethic of demons and take no bullshit from anyone. And to this day, it is all about zero bullshit, yet to slave away at some corporate spasm like an idiot and having very little to show for it, planetary escape, reasoning forlornly forward mistake after mistake, keeping calm. Keep calm and don't be a bitch. You know you're insanely fucking stupid when you lose the ability to realize that you're walking in circles and the ability to trace your steps. For your steps are swept, windswept, pulled under, devil take it. He hammers away at what's left of the sink in an abandoned house since the construction workers won't be back anytime soon.
Whew.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, gosh. This one's about psychedelics a little bit. They're all that. This is called Bear Claw. On my way here, I knew that I would have a breakdown and order an iced caramel latte. I would take a picture of it for the old memory banks. I would drink it down like any person in the natural world. It would taste like some form of liquid heaven. Act to shake me up a bit, and later act as a bear claw, ripping me into two halves. An escape attempt from this world, or a false alarm, and if so, you won't stop me from writing poems. Staring through a window at a parking meter expired, thinking that this guy is going to get a ticket on his windshield. If I don't go out there, the jimmy is locked and release the brake to push his car forward into the empty spot where there's at least 20 minutes left on that meter. Could go put an ad out to warn the guy where he's sitting down, but it's a timing thing, so whatever. That's the drama. A bird takes a break from flying and peeks along the rummaged sail of leaves in the gutter. The parking ticket is just a piece of paper turned to gilt, ready to load a whole world into an e-cartridge cigarette. The way that you look at me, the void is carpeting who you are. I see you trying. You could load the whole world into a sentence on a Saturday. Or how about you load all of your experience into a sentence or two? How about you try? How about loving to try? How about you let go? It is time to listen to some new advice. Write something with your hand. Why shield yourself? 8 pieces of journal into the fray. Eject pieces of journal into the fray. Something is ticking. It's like a bomb was set off in that guy. There's an argument. The guy is a bomb himself. All those people at the intersection are ticking bombs. And it's not always destruction. We proceed to develop. There's no stopping the unraveling. Therapy doesn't seem to be working. A giant woman in the shape of Jodie Foster slams a rope to the ground, dust everywhere, rising, and inside the rope, digital full-length videos and frame after frame, this found footage and interviews, confessions, and tears that fall down faces. She leaps into the sky with all of Noah's Ark hanging out of her bag. Such a character needs development. We love a good mystery. It is not how fast you can go or how hard you can give it to them or how many you hold in your collection or how easy it has become. I think that it is how you run around the corner and cry for all the right reasons and no one shows you the way. You will climb over dead people and become noticed and make promises from a mystery. Maybe it's better to take the stairs. Those two fighting outside fight with fire, take an elevator to being fucked. There's really nowhere to go at night. If we reconsider, if we hold our tongue, will our destinies wrap their arms around trees? Will we get lost? Will we get lost? We do get lost, the suffering beings apologizing at the door. He wants to know if you like him and does he really belong there. If such a divider actually existed, that wasn't made in someone's sleep where everyone is running when they could pretend to be king. Sometimes money runs out before time runs out. People will go to sequels without seeing the original. There's a sense that you're raising your kids at the Galleria and motherfuckers are losing their wits from wine bars to dive bars. Beings killing beings in cars. Fly and be lost in the sky. Fly and be lost in the sky. Cheap ass radar. Got allergies, my eyes are running.
You alright?
Yeah, I should have taken allergy medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Alright, on to newer news. So I'm technically not crying right now.
I mean, that's what matters.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm not losing my shit all the time. So yeah, I'm writing this new book. It's called Next Stage. And so it was some of that. What is the first thought that comes to your mind when I ask you to clear it? Lemon rind, fine, long grocery lines. In hurricane season, this one's coming. Harvey looks like he has a lot on his mind. Bro dude, hanging out with other bro dudes. Dude, what's up, dude? Bro, what's up, bro? Come on, bro, come on, bro. Dude, you're a dumb dude. Come on, just come on. Sorry, I can tell you what's in the secret sauce, but I won't. A crooked grin. Begin, reel them in. Can't even tell you what's not included. Haven't you always wanted to feel included? It's not that these objects aren't mine. They're barely mine. Reasons to go to sleep. Your body needs the rest of its rest. Your body is a tyrant. Your body is hijacked. Your idea is hijacked. Your body is the tyrant. Back talk. Learned early. How quick, how terrible. The first time discovering my disappointment with adults. Make your way by jetpack, fueled by intuition. A tad on the slow side. Slow dive. Nice ride. Blonde eyes. The mind of light is like a cartoon character, repetitive self-work to elevate a sense of self-worth, disciplined in the arts of getting out of bed in one piece. Now I'm seeing stars again. I'll sell you these trade winds, 10 cents a piece. Going out of business, post burn down, liquidation, washout, some lawyers involved, but in the end, thank Egyptian gods, this wasn't deemed as insurance fraud. Going out of business, if you're punctual, you'll get a remnant of what this place once was and is, and a brick for your souvenir chest before they start sweeping this place clear. Your mind free, your mind, erase all memory, all mine, erase all mine, all yesterday, all today, all tomorrow, all 10s and 20s, 50s, 100s, beyond. It could have been a downturn. Remove the part of the brain that chooses to learn from its mistakes will create a seemingly endless quarrel between you and your expectations. They are too much. Staring at a canister of Jiffy peanut butter. This better be 100% peanut butter. Why? 10 steps to the spot right in front of you. Pay someone to give you your own breath right on back to you. No thank you. When you can opt out. Instead, to zen out. Kinhin. Your first step. Stay connected with your body. There's got to be a reason you're in it. Everyone and everything has needs. We are born to be open-hearted about all of this. Turns out, animals best predict the hurricanes. This is why refugees and animals hate each other. You gotta loosen your grip on the bell if you want the fucking thing to ring. If only you could just let it ring. How could you just not let it ring? You can't claim this is foreign terrain. We have all been here. So that's that part of that. You were E.T. for Halloween. You were 9 years of age. You were also E.T. for 10 days before Halloween. These extended arms, hospitable. We became stranger things. If this were a hostage crisis, you quietly phone home. Your mom would drive you around in her T-Bird as this extraterrestrial. You were a sight for everyone at the stoplight. They would look and point and you would raise your finger to them and it would glow. I will be right here. A personal stash of trees. Here's how this gun works. My attention floats out a window crack like a screaming toddler packs a deceitful punch, packs lunch, a wino brown paper bag around a jar, butter of nuts and peas. Moving away, can't sleep, sadness creeps. I turn the TV off because I'm frightened of not facing reality of my sadness. She is my center of my center, shifts off center, off campus, offline, threatens to pick up the bottle like old vicious times, Friends forget their manners, tell me I look older, and it's okay. That's okay. Allergy pill, I think I forgot it at home. Allergy pill popped at 3, a schedule where I'll grind a knuckle into my eye, back into the socket. The teacher will ask what's the matter. I'll say it's allergies among other things, like life back at home. The cat is sipping broth loud as bong hits, at which stirring the pot, additional tiny poison drop, heart stop, pour one out for the friend back there, climb up on that rock and see kids 17 telling themselves that they're getting up there. What do you do? What to do? To them, old wives' tales are new. Failure to elaborate, the page is torn out of history porn, and we're currently caught by traffic and stuck in the pews. Can't afford my own view. Gotta do the dull before I even get subdued. Low on gas as a foundation, fill her up and fill out and chill out, feeling it out. We're brailing along and sailing along, sneezing heads in August. House also allergic to employment. The house stands crooked. Please don't lean against it. More squeamish than a screaming poet.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, napkins, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Napkins, they're nowhere in sight.
But they're in here.
Somewhere.
You want to join us, man? You want to join us? Oh, okay.
I don't have anything to share.
It's cool. You don't have to. We're just all one family.
I'm hogging the whole shit. So these are all short poems. My girlfriend actually thinks this is the best shit I ever wrote.
Yeah?
She's like, fuck all your other shit. Fuck it all, like, and it's just like, this shit's pretty good.
Alright.
It's all very, coordinated.
My opinions peel onions, and their children mix in with the other children. Humble beginnings into the napkin stormfront, it's a napkin thing. Even puffed, puffy with pride, the pen does not write. You're not so hot, says pen. Fuck you, pen. What do you even know? Hyperactively speaking of balance. One at a time, the formation of words switches, flipped on birth, a field of ideas of images. Rosiness in the pink face, rosaries carried off in a bird's beak. The next guessing game begins at 7:30 a.m. and p.m. You know how birds do. They get Catholic. Not someone I admire particularly will one day step into the stage and slay as I have. Lumber sliced into parrot sheets. Most trees cannot read. Bad advice folded for the breast pocket that says, don't get the breast exam. I'm the doctor saying, damn. Don't let people power trip you. They worship false egos and their gods fall before the ink runs out of steam. My pen is a ruiner. In comics, blam, blam, gunfire, sunny disposition, chicken pox, hide inside of a smock, fire your mouth off like Tupac. Blam, blam, 2 girls, 1 World Cup. New crop circles, dead cows, fresh canvas, renewed vows. More fun watching the cat watch TV. The show called All Chiefs, No Indians. Stop saying bless you when I'm coughing and doing other stuff. Well, you look like you were in trouble. Episodes of amnesia. I keep reading your mind and keep forgetting what I find. Repainting the house will not drive the spirits away. So you build a wine rack. 2 can play that game. So many cop killer records in my milk crate. I do what I want. Hours of colored sand brushed away by the same hand. Buddhists. Family stories and jewels, both kicked in the nads and hurting. Idea flowers of non-self whispering, ideas from the clouds. See yourself in the mirror, setting down the phone. Drive, D-R-I-V-E, keep the phone, keep from the phone. If you really care about that baby on board, keep that phone at home. You think you are cool, you are just okay. Honestly cool, uncool, hometown, Walmarted, all gone, pyramid gawker, sluts in rain suits, my glasses, more rain, folding napkins into the paper planes, barmen, talk, internet, wars, embraces, punks and skins, unforgotten streets, doctors, no borders, patients, get free beer. That's a part of that. Yeah.
Nice.
And I should probably just do a couple more and wrap up and
Yeah,
all that,
definitely.
go home and shit. No. Hang out with y'all.
Yeah, we got time for one or two more.
I have so much goddamn stuff, and it's like really hard. I just did not prepare at all.
That's all right.
Honestly,
That's all right.
I did not prepare.
Do we ever?
Because I just felt comfortable enough, really.
Yeah. That's what it's all about.
So, lately I've been writing a lot of stories and stuff, basically.
Mhm.
And I keep thinking about my grandparents.
Mhm.
And, well, anyway, so this is kind of like growing up on the East Coast, hanging out with my grandparents, and a little bit of life out here in Houston and riding my bike around, and then kind of thinking about all of that. And it just kind of goes how it goes. It's called On a Tuesday, Part 1. On a Tuesday, I'm cruising down the Rice Village for no particular reason, only to take in everything that I can with my eyes, breathe it all in, push down, cycle back around on pedals with a pride that beams a gladness, nodding to the evening purple fusing into the horizon. It's telling me that there's more where that came from. All the while I'm listening to what was on in Canada in the early 80s. Timothy Leary is discussing artificial intelligence and the flavor of the commercials, like scholastic readers warning us of warheads pointed at us. Us school children will have to crouch down low in a time of warheads, for if we fight on the playground one time too many, who knows what will happen. But by the time I make it to Rice Village, I want to fire off warheads of my own all up the side of Kirby into the River Oaks Country Club, or send sentinels who know what to do once they get there. I'm inclined to create imaginary friends all along the way. On a Tuesday, I am floating above the surface of a lake, creating a reflection, conjuring a memory, hoping for a sea creature just beneath us that will upturn my grandfather's boat, a young boy's glorious death, before he can return bragging to his worried-to-death grandmother. Mama, Mama, I just discovered the Loch Ness. I reached up and I tried to pet it, and he took me up in his teeth high, and gnashed at me and tore me to ribbons before I could sing, "Oh, is this a mercy?" Yes.
Nice.
You know the Loch Ness Monster?
Of course.
So the Chesapeake Bay was the Loch Ness Chessie.
Yeah, Chessie, yep. And then with
So
Langston.
I used to go out on that boat all the time.
Oh.
And I was always looking out for that, thinking maybe it was going to snatch my ass up.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Yeah, one
I
more,
could
buddy.
close out with a bigger one,
All
or
right.
I could just do a couple small ones.
Up to you, buddy.
All right. Okay, I'm going to close out with the bigger one.
All right.
But the reason I'm closing out with the bigger one is because it's like real intimate. And it's like stories and stuff.
Sweet. Let us in.
And I apologize to you guys for that.
No.
Because it can be arduous, probably. It's called Stock Damage. Zach, have you heard of this one? Stock Damage?
Vaguely familiar?
This year.
Oh, this year? Oh, okay. Then I don't think so. I think I've only heard the title.
They had a writers thing, and it wasn't a poetry event, it was an essay event. And so, I don't write essays, but I kind of just winged it.
Yeah.
And so it's just Stock Damage. What were we thinking? Should I get into this? Wait a minute, I didn't ask to be born into this. It comes down to this. I have just enough business sense to know that I shouldn't get into telemarketing. Now I'm peering down into Google Earth. I'm Google Earthing into the ancient neighborhood of my childhood for the hell of it. The memories that feel broken. They don't all connect so easily into full-length movie, into a full-length feature movie, or form into a giant robot with blaster and sword. Memories come as poetry in bits and pixels, truths and half-truths, till my eyes adjust, and in hindsight, 2020 is there once more. What has become of my family and I? What was it then? Sitting here, staring into this wood grain? Is this where I'm going to figure it out? What will become is determined by the story I've been telling you and myself. Because I write things down, I'm this way. Because I'm an only child, I'm that way. Because I moved here, because I'm X. Because I struggle with the Y. Am I, in fact, an only child? Am I even writing this now? Is it as simple as I see it? When were times ever simple? When is time simple? It's simple to remember, more difficult to envision, to see beyond. I was too busy being 5 when you asked me, what do you want to be what do I want to be when I get up there? With increased and probably warped cognitive powers, of course I'll put out fires and wrangle cats out of trees. Of course I'll cram all the subpar into the rooms and lecture them on consequences. Of course I'll be the one to help balance the scales of justice and hurry along silver-haired ladies with bags of apples across the avenue with sharpened mental acuities. Of course I will be a father, if not of children, then ideas and jokes and epiphanies that open the third eye, street lamp. I wish our family could have held together. I wish my mom would have actually learned how to cook. So often my mother and I, we'd say to each other, shut up. As in, hush your mouth. Get the hell out of here. That's crazy. You don't say that sort of thing. But because we weren't paying attention, soon enough it turned into just shut up. We didn't realize what we were saying to each other until it was too late. Feelings were hurt, and it became stock damage. We never thought we have to be careful with language. Violence is in the air. Vile, violation, vivisection, vandalize, vilify. These are other V words that come to mind. Various permutations that act to complicate and add so many unnecessary layers of chaotic suffering and confusion to the human condition. To vilify violence is impossible when violence, the thing that is so hard to walk back, to reverse, to repair, is itself the villain. Violence is the line crossed. Violence is sometimes the first thing that we think of. Violence is in our speech. I think now I am so much more patient and warm and ready to listen. I remember towards the end of my grandmother's life, she was about to have an operation, one that they had to put her to sleep for, and she was in her late 90s, and at that age it's risky to be put to sleep. So they were telling her, that there's a chance that you might not wake up from this. I'm cool with it either way, she felt. So in that state, the assistants were carefully putting her onto the stretcher for surgery, aware of this pain that she had in her hip. A few minutes pass, and she tells my mom and I, everyone thinks it's from a car accident, and that's a story. But 20 years ago, your grandfather and I, we got into a fight, and he came flying across the room at me and kicked me, and I had to go to the hospital. And I've always said that it was from a car. That day I got a little more insight into what has been winding its way through our family. To imagine deeper longings, perhaps an inner child is saying, I wish you would have talked to me about the stages of life. I wish you would have had a serious talk about transitions. Shit, I wish you would have talked to me about energy. Why is it that instead of hearing about the birds and bees from our dad, we have to go to the Tibetan Book of the Dead? Go to your mother. Shut up. I think now that I'm so much more patient and warm, I listen, I sit still, I read a lot and forget a lot, and read some more. I can list off first and last names of tons of authors and book titles and short stories, and this is where our hero got very drunk in a bar and fearlessly charmed his aggressors to the point of asking him to join their gang. You've got what we want, but in the end he stumbled out of there off again on his own without them. Remembering my grandfather in the retirement home, he was being tormented by what he called a little Chinaman. You get out of here, he screams. The little Chinaman stops by late at night, and my grandfather smashes him over the head, drawing blood with a minuscule heart-shaped trash can. What can I say? My grandfather had anger issues. He even came to blows with his friends in the middle of the bowling alley. A little older, this is where I set a modest fire in the ashtray at those very tables, then outside threw a book of lit matches into the trash dumpster and walked on. We sat across the street, my friend and I, watching the black cloud overshadow the shopping center and the fire engines roaring to the scene so serious. I was becoming a vandal. It was fun. It was something to do. It was some sort of reaction in the nervous system. It was this unnamed angst hurled at the world and those who did not deserve it. In my teens, I figured, it's their karma, isn't it? This was my attitude at the time. Everyone deserves something. Here I am to provide it. The pain that dominoes through life, I'm giving it back. I'm perpetuating the madness. I am becoming one of them. Our mothers want to protect us from this anger and violence, but it isn't long before this world crashes in on us. We used to tease this kid that we knew in school who was named Freedom by his hippie parents. One day he didn't show up to the lunch table. We found out that he was caught up downtown dealing and was fatally shot. All these pathways are opening up to us. What happened to Freedom? That could have been any one of us. Where I had a blessed day, I became increasingly interested in Eastern philosophy and meditation. What continues to interest me is the Buddhist concept of right speech, consciously ejecting yourself from the cockpit, from autopilot, and giving a fuck again, and making the sincere effort to cause less harm with the word spew. It is honestly one of the most arduous practices, especially in the congestion of the city where everything is lightning paced. But this is the life hack: slowing down, developing compassion, transforming how you treat others, and becoming aware of your thoughts before they transform into actual robots. I have learned to breathe a different breath, putting more and more spirit behind each and every word. There is no real ending to this. This world continues on, ravaged by war, natural, not so natural disasters. The average driver confuses their phone for a steering wheel, TV for reality, reality TV stars for politicians, politicians for saviors, and we suffer. This is the news, and this news is paralysis, introspection and charity, clarity and meditation, compassion and activity with a full mind. These are the Zen keys: clear sky, consciousness. You can ask your guru's wife just how enlightened he is. I look at these stories and remove myself from them. While they've made me into who I am today, so do many other positive stories where I have held my tongue, held back, changed my route, and chosen a different adventure. There is this extra layer of cognition, mind aware of mind. Writing poetry and reading it to my friends has seriously rewired my mindset to share what's in between the lines. Taking the time to sit still and watch my thoughts and emotions and all the stories that go by, learning more and more to let go, has taught me a lot about the nature of the grasping mind. Identity, something that we hold on to so strongly, can be released of the stronghold of ego. Who are we really? We're all connected in this web of interdependence and interpenetration. We're connected by the sun and oceans and the surface we trod. Our garments are stitched by someone so far away, it might as well be a fairy tale. Meditating on this transforms something within. It probably took a whole Game of Thrones for your pants to get here. Not a season, but the entire series. It's not over. Life is a massive recycling program. Perhaps we can lower our phones and actually talk to the person in front of us taking our order. Lucky not to become a hoarder. Washington, D.C. and the surrounding